Hi, welcome to Charter Schools USA video tutorial on the IP560, which we're also referring to as the admin phone. In this tutorial, I will be going over the basic functions of the IP560. First thing we're going to talk about today is the buttons that are hard-coded on the phone itself. You notice we're going to first start with the display. In the display we have at the upper right-hand corner of your screen, or upper left-hand corner of your screen, is your extension number. Your extension number is a 4-digit number. In this tutorial, this phone is configured with extension 1245. To the right of that, we have the date and time, as well as the logo for your school. Directly underneath your extension number, we have 3 buttons that have been configured as feature buttons. We have Call Park, Unpark, and All Page. We'll get into the features of those buttons at a later time. Directly beneath that, we have the Directories button. This is how you access contact directory on the system to see who's configured on the system. If you don't have a list of extensions for everybody in school, you can simply hit the Directories button and scroll through and search for the contact that you wish to call. Directly underneath this is an Applications button. This button, at this point in time, is not configured. We can set this up at a later date with different applications, but at this point in time we're going to go ahead and skip this button. Directly underneath the Applications button is Conference. You can conference in up to 4 parties on this telephone. We'll get into how to make a conference call later on during this tutorial. Underneath that we have the Transfer button. That's how you can transfer a live call from your phone to another internal extension. We have Redial and Hold. Moving to the right, directly underneath the keypad, we have the volume up, which is identified with the plus sign, and we have a volume down button, which is the minus sign. Moving over to the right-hand side, we have a speakerphone button. We have a headset button. If you use a headset, there's a headset port located on the back side of your phone. You must use an approved headset that is appropriate for the IP560. And moving up, we have the mute button, do not disturb, messages. Messages is your voicemail button. This is how you set up your voicemail and how you retrieve it as well. And we have a menu button, which gives you access to different features on the system that are not configured by a hard button. We are now going to discuss basic uses of your telephone. The first thing you're going to want to do is set up your voicemail on your telephone. Located on the right-hand side of your screen is a button labeled Messages. Go ahead and press this button and a tutorial will come on and walk you through setting up your personal voicemail.
Welcome. Please enter your PIN followed by the pound sign.
The first time you log into your voicemail, your PIN has been configured to match your extension number. In this tutorial, we're using extension 1245 as our extension. So, the first time you log into your voicemail from this extension, your PIN number will match your extension number 1245.
Welcome. Please enter your PIN followed by the pound sign. Since this is your first time accessing your mailbox, you must change your PIN. Please enter your new PIN followed by the pound sign.
I'm going to use 5624.
Your new PIN is 5624. Press 1 to keep this PIN. Press 2 to re-enter the. Press 1 to manage your external greeting. Press 2 to manage your internal.
Now I'll go ahead and set up
Press 3 to manage
my
your
external greeting.
This greeting is currently off. Press 1 to record. Press 2 to listen. Press 3. After the tone, please record your.
You will want to make sure that you record from your handset to get the best audio quality. Hi, you've reached the voicemail of David Warren. I'm sorry I'm not able to take your call at this time. Please leave me a detailed message and I will return your call just as soon as I can. Thanks for calling and have a great day.
Press 1 to keep this recording. Press 2 to record again.
Go ahead and
Press
keep the
3
recording.
Recording saved. External greeting. Press 1 to record. Press 2 to listen. Press 3 to turn off or press star to return to the previous menu.
Press star to return to the previous menu.
Press 1 to manage your external greeting. Press 2 to manage your internal greeting. Press 3 to manage your mailbox name. Press 4.
I'm going to press 3 to go
name.
ahead and
This
manage
greeting
my
is
mailbox
currently
name.
Off. Press 1 to record. Press 2
I'm going to press 1 to
press
record.
3 to turn off. After the tone, please say your name. When you have finished, press pound.
David Warren.
Press 1 to keep this recording. Press 2 to record again. Recording saved. Mailbox name. Press 1 to record. Press.
At this point in time, my mailbox is set up. There are more options that you can configure within the mailbox, such as internal greetings versus external greetings, and you can put schedules on there and so forth. But for this tutorial, we're just going to keep it basic, and at this point in time, our voicemail box is set up. We can receive messages, and callers that call in will hear our name announcement as well as our personal greeting. The next thing we're going to talk about is setting the volume on your telephone. Located directly beneath the keypad is a volume down and volume up button. These two buttons represent 4 different volume settings on your telephone. One setting affects the volume on your handset. So when you are on a handset call, you can simply press the down or up button to increase the volume on your handset. To change the volume on a speakerphone call, hit speakerphone and toggle up and down to the appropriate volume level. You can also change the ringer volume on your telephone simply by pressing the up and down buttons when your phone is in an idle state. If you're using the headset button, when you're on a headset call, you can press the volume up and down as well to change the volume in your headset. The next button we're going to discuss is Do Not Disturb. Located on the right-hand side of your phone is a button that says Do Not Disturb. To enable it, simply press it. You'll notice as soon as it's pressed in the display, you have a scrolling note that says Do Not Disturb, and also directly next to your extension number is an X that's flashing. At this point in time, any call that comes into your extension is going to go directly to your voicemail box. It will not ring your telephone. To disable this feature, simply press the button again. Now the phone goes back to normal operation. Another useful button on your phone is the forward button. If you are working at another desk for the day and you'd like to have your calls transferred to that extension, simply press the forward button, and you have the option to always forward, only forward if the call is not answered, or only forward in a busy state. For this tutorial, we're going to go ahead and always forward. Simply select that by hitting the swoosh button, and I'm going to go ahead and put extension 1014 and enable it. Now my phone is in a call forward state. Any calls that come to my extension will always get forwarded to extension 1014 until I remove that feature on my phone. To remove that feature, again, just repeat the steps. Hit forward. You notice in the display, always enabled. Always forward is enabled. I'm going to go ahead and select that and hit disable. Now my phone is back to normal operation. Now we're going to talk about how to place an internal telephone call. We've already discussed how each phone has a 4-digit extension. This extension being configured with 1245. To call another extension, simply go off hook or hit the speakerphone button and dial their 4-digit extension. And the call is answered. You notice once the call is answered, you have a timer that is incrementing in the right-hand side of your screen. I'm going to go ahead and hang up the call. Now we're going to discuss how to place an outbound call from your phone. This system has been configured to use the number 8 as an outdial prefix for outbound calls. For this tutorial, our system is configured to use 10-digit local dialing. I will now demonstrate how to place an outbound call using 10-digit local dialing. First, start with pressing the outdial prefix 8, followed by the area code and a number. You notice it is listed here at the top of the screen. And now I'm going to press the dial button to place the call. Once the call is answered, you notice that there's a little timer on the right-hand side of the screen, as well as new features that present themselves at the bottom of the display. We have the ability to place the call on hold. We can end the call, transfer the call, or press more for more features. For this tutorial, we're going to demonstrate how to place a call on hold. I can either use the hold button that's listed in the display, or I can use the hard key button listed on the bottom left-hand corner of the screen. I'm going to use the button here in the display, and now the call is on hold. You notice that the hold button now has changed from hold to resume. I can either hit the resume button or this hold button to pick that call back up. In the display, you notice that the call is on hold, the timer is still incrementing, and there's a little red light next to your extension number. Go ahead and hit the resume button to pick that call back up. Now let's say we are on a live call and another call comes in for my extension. So we're going to demonstrate how to field multiple calls on your extension. You notice I have a call that's coming in from extension 1014. I'm going to put the first call on hold, and now that second call has jumped up to the top of the list. I can answer the call, and now I have a live call with extension 1014, and my first call is still on hold. Let's say I'd like to go ahead and put that second call on hold and jump back to the first call. Simply put the call on hold, and now use your up and down arrow keys to scroll to the call that you'd like to pick back up. Hit the resume button once the call is highlighted, and now that call jumps to the top. I'm going to go ahead and hang up with the first call. Second call jumps up. It's still on hold. I can resume by hitting the resume button. And now I'm going to hang up. Now we're going to talk about how to transfer a telephone call to another internal extension. We're going to first start by getting a live call on our telephone. We now have a live call on our phone, and we're going to go ahead and transfer this call to another internal extension. For this tutorial, I'm going to transfer the call to extension 1246. Located in the bottom of the display is a transfer button. I press a transfer, followed by 1246, and now I hit send. 1246 is now ringing. They answer the phone call, and now I hit transfer to complete the transfer. That is called announce transfer. That gives me the ability to tell the user on the other end of the phone who's on the call. It gives them the ability to say, hey, I'm busy, or yes, go ahead and send the call through. And then I can go ahead and hit the transfer a second time to complete the call. We're going to try those steps one more time, and this time we're going to take the call back after the user picks up the phone call. So if I could get another call back to 1245. Call comes in, I answer the call. They want to speak to extension 1246. I hit transfer. I dial 1246. I hit send. This time, let's pretend 1246 says, I'm busy, please take a message for me. They don't want the call. I'm going to go ahead and hit the cancel button, and now the original call is back on my telephone. At this point in time, I can either take a message, or I can actually send the call directly to their voicemail box. We're going to go ahead and send the call directly to that user's voicemail box so that I don't have to take a message, and they can leave a personal message for the party that they're calling. Located at the right-hand side of the screen is the More button. If you press this, more buttons present themselves, or features. There's a button here that's called Send VM, which is send the voicemail. If you press this button, I now dial extension 1246, enter, and now that call goes directly to that user's voicemail box. They're hearing their greeting, and they're able to leave a message for them without even ringing their telephone. Now we're going to try what's called a blind transfer. This transfers the call directly to the user without even telling them who's on the call. So if I could have another call at 12:45, I answer the call. I'm going to hit transfer. As soon as I hit transfer, the blind button presents itself in the display. I'm going to go ahead and hit blind, and now I'm going to extension dial 1246 and hit send. It doesn't even ring their telephone and give them ability for me to talk to them. It actually transfers the call directly to that extension. So there's two ways to transfer calls. Announce transfer gives you the ability to tell the user who's on the call, and it gives them the ability to say, yes, transfer the call to me, or no, take a message. Or you have blind transfer. You also have the ability to transfer the call directly to their voicemail, which is not the transfer key, but it's the send a VM button listed once you try to transfer the call to them. So we just finished talking about how to transfer a call to another extension. Let's say you have a parent that calls in and they need to get a hold of a teacher, and that teacher is not answering their phone call for whatever reason. You respond to the parent and let them know, hey, the teacher's not available, would you like their voicemail? But they say that it's very important, very urgent, they need to get a hold of the teacher. So at that point in time, you can use the call park feature located on the left-hand side of your display. We're going to go ahead and demonstrate how to use the call park feature at this time. If we can get a live call at 12:45. So let's pretend a parent is calling in. We answer the call, and the parent says they'd like to talk to a teacher at extension 1246. We're first going to go ahead and transfer the call to 1246. Transfer, 1246. We're doing an announce transfer. We hit send, and we now wait for the teacher to answer the call. Let's say the call's rang at their desk several times. We get a feeling that they're not going to answer the call. We're going to go ahead and hit the cancel button to retrieve that call back. We offer the parent voicemail. They say, no, I really need to talk to that teacher. So at this point in time, we're going to use the call park feature. Hit call park.
Call parked at 1.
So the system automatically assigns a park extension to that call. The call is off the telephone, and now I can go to any phone in the building or in the school and retrieve that call by simply hitting an unpark button from an admin phone, or from a teacher phone, I can hit *98# followed by the park zone. So in this case, I'm going to go ahead and use the unpark button.
Please enter your pickup ID.
The call was parked at 1. I hit 1. And now I retrieve the live call. All right, I'm going to demonstrate this again, but picking up the call park from a teacher phone. So again, I parked the call.
Call parked at 1.
The call is off my phone. I can go to a teacher phone, *98#.
Please enter your pickup ID.
Call parked at 1. I hit 1. And now I have a live call. Now, the All Page button that's listed directly underneath the All Park buttons gives me the ability to make an all page through the system intercom system. At that point in time, you can announce through the PA system to the teacher, teacher so-and-so, you have a call parked at 1, or whatever the park zone number is, so that they can hear it, and then they can go to to the nearest telephone and retrieve that call. And that's call park. Next, I'd like to demonstrate how to place a conference call from your handset. First thing you're going to do is call the first party that you'd like to get a hold of. So for this tutorial, I'm going to call an internal extension of 1014. Once that party picks up the phone, I can now hit the conference hard key, which is located on the left-hand side of the phone. And now I can call the next party. Once the second party has answered the call, I can now hit conference, and now all three parties are brought together into one virtual conference room. You can continue to repeat these steps to up to 6 parties on your phone. And I'm going to go ahead and cancel the conference at this time. And that'll complete our demonstration on conference calling. Now we're going to get into some more advanced features on the admin phone. One thing nice about the admin phone that you can do is you can change the ringer cadence and audible tone from your phone. You can also change the LCD display and contrast as well. Those are both done from the same menu. From your phone, hit the menu button, go under settings by scrolling down, hit the swoosh button to select, and you're going to go into basic. Hit the swoosh button again, and now you have a menu that gives you the ability to change the contrast, the backlight intensity, and the ringer type. Again, simply either hit the select button or the swoosh button to go into that. We're going to go ahead and first start with our ring type. You have a silent ring. There's actually a bunch of different rings, and you can go through and select each one. Next to each one is a play button, so you can hit play and listen to what it's going to sound like before you actually enable it on your phone. Once you find the one that you like, simply hit select. A little check goes in the box there, and now you can hit the back button to get back to the previous menu. If you want to change the contrast on your phone, scroll up the contrast, select it, and now you can use the up and down buttons on the display to change the contrast. Once you found the desired level, hit OK, and that brings you back to the previous menu. Now if you want to change the backlight intensity, again select that, and you can scroll through the different options here as well to change the level of intensity for the backlight. Hit the back arrow key or back button to get all the way back out to the previous menu, back to the normal state of the phone. You notice from time to time you'll have a list of missed calls that are scrolling on the top of your screen. To see a list of calls on your phone, you can hit the menu button, select features, and scroll down the call list. Now you have the ability to go in and see calls you've missed, calls you've received, and calls you've placed. You can also clear the calls so that this gets it off your screen. So we're going to go ahead and clear the calls off our phone, and we're going to go ahead and clear all missed calls. Once we do that, we can hit back, 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 and exit, and that brings us back to the previous menu. You notice that the missed calls is no longer scrolling on the phone. You also notice we have a little red blinking LED light on the phone, and next to your extension number there's an envelope. This means you have a new voicemail message in your mailbox. To retrieve your voicemail, simply hit the message button followed by your PIN number that you set up in the previous tutorial, and you can retrieve your voicemail messages. Finally, I'd like to conclude with how to use your directories button. This is the hard key located at the left-hand side of your phone. Simply press the directories button, and in the display, scroll down to corporate directory. This will pull a list of everybody that's listed in Active Directory. I'm going to go ahead and select this, and now I'm going to key in the first few letters of the person's last name. If you don't know their last name, you can hit Advanced Find and select their first name. But for this tutorial, we're going to search by their last name. I type in W, A, and hit Submit. Notice the first entry comes up as David Warren, extension 1026, and now I can go ahead and dial them. It went to voicemail because that user was non-available. And now I'll conclude our tutorial on the admin telephone. I'd like to remind you all that there's a handout provided with every single phone that has additional information as well as all those different steps we went through today.